concert. 8 musicians. 7 of them, like myself, originated from a former Soviet Union or Eastern Europe. So everyone came here in different ages, etc. But all of us have some, still have some memory of what it means being there in that system. That unfortunately, based on lie, and that is the worst scenario that this system could lead. Unfortunately, had happened. Well, there is even in our community there are different view on that situation, but all us definitely cannot accept that, right? So I wouldn't say that we feel guilty. No, what could we do? We left that part of the world mostly because of that, but still there is something that that make us feel not easy, right? That is not easy. I don't know. I'm sorry for my English, but you understand what I mean. The only thing we can do is just to help Ukrainians, right? Now. So the musicians, they're from different part. We have Esma Pasic-Filipovic, who is from Bosnia, so she knows what the war is, and she will tell us a little bit about that before we start. And one thing I want to, just one thing, what came to my mind. It's a spring over there, it's already blooming red and blossoming. Just a week ago, beautiful magnolia, blossom, exactly, yeah. Oh, so beautiful, just next to us. And then next day, the froze.
Yeah.
And that is just, it looks dead. The flowers like dead birds, right? And that was so symbolic, right? For me, it was definitely symbolic. But next year it will be okay, right? So we hope that, exactly. So Esma, can I please ask you to tell us a little bit about your experience?
Well, nobody who has lived in a war wants to talk about the war, and I'm very proud that I inherited the same thing my parents shared with me. They never talked about the war until the war started, so I never talked about the war with my son until the war started, and I'm still not telling him a lot, but he knows. Oh, I'm sorry, it's very emotional. Just in 3 days, it'll be 30 years that war began in Sarajevo. And my parents were badly forcing me and my sister to leave the country during the Yugoslavia because it was very bad situation, and they who know what the war is, and every generation in that part of the world has to experience the war, which is very tragic. They asked us to leave and we didn't want to, so we all were living in a war. I lived 1 year in Sarajevo. My sister lived 2 years in Sarajevo. She's in California right now. I am over here in Princeton, New Jersey, and well, war is a war, but what makes me very concerned is what comes after the war. Now they are living that cruel situation and moment, but what is ahead of them, it's really thorny path, and it's very difficult what they have to face from the immigration. From the moment they have to establish themselves, get for the job, get American experience. And my brother-in-law said, give me a chance to work and I'll prove it what I can do as an electrical engineer, so who is right now top guy in NVIDIA, but it was 30 years of battling to get there. So I think I just would love to finish this little talk with words of Alexander Scriabin, that fantastic Russian composer, who said once, I have a dream. I would love to teach everybody in this world 1 minute long piece, and I would love to conduct the world to play at the same time that minute-long piece. So, and that's really what we need to do. We need to listen to each other, we need to agree with each other, we need to compromise, and that's what music teaches us. I just wish we can learn more from music than from the war experience. In that name, I would love to play with my friend the National Anthem of the Ukraine.
Yes, everybody has problems, so you can just follow the program.
And I just want to say one another little thing about the Jesu Joy of Man Desiring, which is a piece Myra has played, that great English pianist, weekly in the National Gallery in London. When London was bombed, people were coming to National Gallery, and Myra has lived in London, and she performed this piece. And I just learned yesterday that she told one of her Romanian friends, immigrants, musicians too, that she will never ever play this piece after the war, and the friend convinced her to continue playing this choral, Jesu Man, Joy of Man's Desiring. It was the first piece I also played in the war in Sarajevo, on the first concert.
Now it's at the Russian Academy of Music. So now we finally met after almost many years. Right? We met in the United States instead of playing in Minsk, so that's good. So we can do it in Princeton. So the next piece will be, with this war which going on in Ukraine, I think we all understand the casualties, the lives taken, the towns destroyed. But I think one of the biggest toll which this war will bring to the globe, something which what will be extremely difficult to fix. That's the relationship between two brothers nations, Ukrainian and Russians. And Belarusian, we are right in the middle, and we are consider ourselves to be the nation as well. We feel every single millisecond of this conflict. And unfortunately with this conflict, what I'm afraid, being a musician, being a person from the world of art, of artistic world, what I'm afraid the most that the war will go beyond just the weapon and the explosions and the fighting. The fight will go between the cultures. And I already heard many examples in Europe right now that there's so much hate against each other between Russians and Ukrainians that music by Russian composers almost prohibited to be performed. So we told ourselves that's one of the absurds which cannot happen. And that's why I promised myself to include in every concert pieces by Ukrainian composers and of course Russians. So right now we're going to perform Sergei Rachmaninov, Vocalist. We will continue with another genius from Russia, Piotr Tchaikovsky. And one surprising fact, maybe not everybody knows that, but he is the grandson of the Kazakh family from Ukraine. His grandfather was the last name Chaikov, the Ukrainian Kazakh, and then family moved to Russia, and that's where Piotr Ilyich was born. So, and we all know that Tchaikovsky used a lot of Ukrainian folk songs and melodies, and his symphonies, and the quartets, and the other pieces. And I'm not sure if he used any of the Ukrainian or Russian themes in the piece which we're going to perform, but at least we can think about this when we will be playing. And in this harsh time when we all witness the bad situation and the war in another part of the globe, we need to find a time and meditate or think, and that's the name of the piece, размышление or meditation. Our next piece will be by one of the most known, well-known Ukrainian composer of 20th century and 21st century as well. He just recently passed away because of the long time illness. Miroslav Skorik, one of the most popular composers of Ukraine. And our next piece we will perform the melody. That's the music from one of the movies from 1994 called A High Pass, Высокий перевал. And these days, this melody, this music, considered to be spiritual anthem of Ukraine. thank you very much for inviting us and organizing this wonderful event. And I know that all the proceeds from tonight's concert will go to help Ukraine. And I myself have been participating in many concerts lately. I'm a president of a non-profit organization called Collegium Musicum, and we recently did series of the concert to benefit Ukraine, the similar what we're doing today. And yesterday the plane went from South Carolina directly to Poland with the medical goods, 2,100 items to help save people's life in Ukraine. So I hope we can collect some money tonight, and this money will be used for the great cause to help people of Ukraine, to save lives. Maybe purchase some medical supplies or whatever case will be. Whatever case will be, if that will help, that will be fantastic. You will let it know. So let us perform. So let's be the Carpathian Rhapsody by Miroslav Skorik. And thank you again for organizing this and inviting us.
Thank you.